Yo, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Dyslexic Doodle Bob's clone here today. In today's video, we're just going to be doing another story time today because I'm going to be completely honest, I'm kind of struggling on some video topics right now. If you have anything you would like to see, please let me know down in the comments below right now before this video begins. But today's story time is going to be about the time when I actually ditched school to go smoke weed and then actually show back up to school after when we smoked weed. It's a pretty interesting story and I think it'll do a good one for you guys today. And without further ado, let's hop right into the story Story time takes place in the year 2019, and in 2019 I was a sophomore in high school, and in my high school I remember there was this thing called the bookstore. Now I know what you guys are thinking, wow, a bookstore, that sounds pretty lame, kinda just an average high school thing, but here's the different thing about this bookstore, is that there was not a single book in this bookstore. Instead it was just full of snacks, drinks, all bunch of kinds of shit that you could get for pretty cheap. The only downside though is that the chips were baked, not fried. Let's be real here, who wants baked Lays? I don't think no one is going to eat a bag of baked Lays unless you're seriously desperate for a bag of chips. And if that's the case, get therapy, man. I don't know, I think I might be being a little too rough right there, but get therapy if you're craving a bag of baked Lays. Regardless though, the bookstore was a thing that existed at my high school and it was pretty lit, I'm not even gonna lie. In the classroom that I was in at the time, it was pretty easy to leave the class whenever you wanted to. You just gotta say the teacher's name and say that you're going to the bathroom. Just say you're going to the bookstore or whatnot. It's pretty easy to get out of that classroom. Mainly because the teacher did not care what you were doing, just so long as if you were caught up on your work. One of the people who I used to go to school with in this classroom, occasionally every now and then he would sell weed, probably just kind of like a side thing to get a little bit of quick cash, you know, and just so happens on this day I had a little bit of my own money and he was also selling around this time as well, so I said fuck it, I would be down to buy a couple of grams right now. So in the middle of class, I didn't even wait until lunch or none of that shit because I knew my teacher didn't really care all too much. I went up to my friend and I said, yo, you selling right now? I got a little bit of money. And he says, yeah, I got a little bit. It's like, we could go out to my car right now and I could sell you some. I was like, works for me. It's like, I don't care. It's like, I really got nothing else better to do. It's like, the only time I'm gonna leave this classroom for the rest of the day is my last period class, and that's art. It's like, I'm not even gonna lie, the art teacher, I told a whole last story time about when everyone in my art class was drunk and she was just completely oblivious to all of it, did not understand what was going on, so I knew it would be pretty easy to get away with weed in her classroom, you know. Despite my teacher not caring too much about what we did in class, we didn't want to outright tell him, yo, we're gonna go do a drug deal in the parking lot real quick. So instead we just told him, can we go to the bookstore real fast? And he said, sure, I don't see why not. It's like, there's only 30 minutes until lunch, I don't see why you could wait until then. We're like, bro, we want a Hot Pocket right now, that's all what we care about. Screw lunch, we're just gonna go get a Hot Pocket 30 minutes before lunch real fast and then we'll be right back. That's not exactly what we said to the teacher. We just said we just want a Hot Pocket, we'll be right back. Won't take too long, you know. And yeah, nah, it took forever. But right before we actually did go to the parking lot to do this drug deal, we did go to not the country store, that's something entirely else that's in my town. We went to the bookstore to get you know, just a few things that we wanted. We did indeed get some Hot Pockets, so we were not lying about that. We only left out the part when we were gonna go do a drug deal. That's the only thing we didn't tell the teacher. I mean, technically we weren't lying. We did go to the bookstore, but you know, we did something else that we didn't mention. And I forgot to mention this a little bit sooner. There was a third person with us. When I was asking my friend if, you know, we could do a quick drug deal real fast, one of my other friends overheard, who also smokes weed, and he wanted to come along with because he immediately knew what was going to happen. We weren't just going to go out and do a simple drug deal. We were going to just leave school entirely, find a secluded spot, and just smoke up fat before we go to school. And that's exactly what we did. After when we get to my friend's car, you know, he says, fuck this, we're not gonna do the drug deal right here. We're gonna go drive down near this park real quick, go to this little secluded area, and we're gonna do the deal. He never said anything about smoking. I thought, you know what, we're just gonna get off campus, so, you know, we're not playing this too sketchy. We're gonna leave campus real quick, do the drug deal, come back to school. Shouldn't take too long. Obviously, my teacher's probably going to be a little suspicious because why did it take us 15 minutes to go to the bookstore? It shouldn't take you that long just to get a simple Hot Pocket. We drive on over to a local park, and then there's just kind of like a little dirt road path near the park. We drive down over there, park behind some trees, and then my friend takes out a pipe first, and then he takes out some weed, and then he starts loading it, and then I'm sitting there just kind of getting all nervous. I was like, wait, are we smoking right now? And he says, yeah, you think we're just going to be doing a simple deal? It's like, why do you think we came all the way out over here? I was like, I thought we came out over here to be less sketchy about the drug deal, but I guess we're gonna be smoking up right now, which I'm not even gonna lie, I really do want to get high, but the thought of going back to school after ditching school to smoke weed, it's like, this doesn't really sound like all too much of a good time, but I said, fuck it, bro. I'm here to have fun. We spent about 30 minutes at the park, so it was like almost well past our lunchtime being over, and we didn't even realize the time that went by. We were just sitting in there just smoking bowl after bowl, and I don't know what the hell, my cat's scratching up a bunch of shit right now. Hopefully you can't hear that. I don't even remember how much we smoked, but we did smoke a lot in this damn parking lot. Actually, no, it wasn't a parking lot. Like I said, we were down on a dirt road parked behind some trees, but we smoked a lot of weed. This car was hotboxed as fuck, I tell you that much. After getting nice and baked, I decided, alright, I'm high now, music sounds like a good vibe, but before we go back to school, so I pull out my phone, and the first thing that I noticed was the time, and I just say out loud, shit, it is way past our lunchtime right now. I'm all paranoid, I'm all baked, and then my friends are just laughing. He's like, bro, it's okay. It's like, it's our teacher. He wouldn't give a shit. And I'm just like, fuck, I know, but it's like, I'm high right now. It's like, I'm kind of paranoid. And my friend just looks at me and just starts dying laughing. And he says, bro, do you think you're okay to go back to school? I just say, fuck it. I don't think I could ditch school today. It's like, I need to go back to school, which honestly, I probably shouldn't have, but everything was fine. I'm not even gonna lie. So we start driving back to school, and then when we get back to school, we decide, fuck it, we're gonna hit up the bookstore one more time because, you know, we already ate all of our shit. It's just a pile of trash at this point. We need to make our alibi, or not our alibi, we need to make her story more believable. So we stop by the bookstore again. I walk in there just blasted as fuck. The lady who runs the stand at the bookstore, she just kind of gives me a weird look, but really says nothing. We get our snacks and then we head back to our classroom. I walk into class, and then our teacher looks around, and the first thing he says is like, you guys have been gone like 30 minutes before your lunch, 30 minutes after your lunch. You guys just said you were going to the bookstore. Where were you? And then he takes a look at me. Immediately just knows exactly what we did. My two friends that we were with, they were a little bit more experienced when it came to smoking, but me, however, I was only smoking for a few months around this point, so I was absolutely blasted, and there was nothing that could hide it. My teacher looks right at me, and he just kind of fucking sighs under his breath, oh my god, while he's just nodding his head, looking back at his computer, and I'm just sitting there all paranoid, it's like, fuck, he knows. It's like, hopefully I don't get in trouble, hopefully he doesn't say anything, which comes to my surprise, he never did, but I was too blasted to go to my last class, so I just stayed in that class period. Not that class period, I can't stay in one class period for the entire day, but this classroom that I was in, I had the same classroom throughout like most of the day for some, I don't fucking remember why, some weird shit back in high school. Anyways, guys, that was the story time. If you did happen to enjoy it, please consider giving it a thumbs up because it makes me more motivated to make the videos and it shows that you guys appreciate the content. And I'll see you all for the next video. Peace out.